small crowd here tonight. Thanks for coming out as we start our agenda this evening. Alex is on his way. We're going to go ahead and start talking about the property at 208 North Main Street with the brick home to discuss with council some different options, and also if you had a chance to look at the pros and cons, and did you get a copy of that, pros and cons? Okay. All right, I have wrote that down. So I did that, but as we start that discussion, there's a couple different things I'd like to relay from Becky Ruhal. I called her yesterday about the zone change with that property, and what her recommendation was for that zone change and what would benefit the city, and what did we face as far as getting that zone changed. Commercially, if we get that zone changed now, then it looks like that somebody could come in with conditional uses and put almost anything that's listed for that commercial zone change. Whereas if we keep it residential, or change it to residential, right now it's residential trailer park, which I'm pretty sure that council, in hopes to change that out of that residential trailer park into at least to a residential 1, 2, or 3. The Becky Ruhal advised that if we change it to residential and then somebody wants to make it commercial, they come in to purchase that, then they also have to come back in front of us to, just like they did on Case Lane. That was residential, but they want to make it commercial, and they went before the Board of Adjustment and Planning and Zoning to try to get a hotel/restaurant there, and that's all they can put there. So if we make it residential, it would cover us as far as a truck stop wanting to come in, or something that we don't want. Let's get everybody's feedback on that.
I have one question. It'd be like the property that the people bought down on Violet Road past the old St. E's Doctor's Building. They bought that property in hopes of building apartments, and then they weren't able to build the apartments, and now they're just sitting there. What if somebody buys this for residential and they want to turn it into something commercial, and we won't let them, then they're stuck with the property? Or if they know that there's a chance we might not change it, it might take a while to get it sold. Just what I've seen before in real estate property.
Right. Just my personal opinion, if I was going to, excuse me, purchase that property for apartments, I would have tried to got that zone change before I purchased that, for sure, because that's quite a bit of money. This is just some options for us. We definitely, I think that we could probably all agree we don't want another trailer park, and that would be out of the question. But what, Alex, Pete, what is your advice on that zone change for that?
Like Becky gave you some good insight. There's going to be pluses and minuses. You certainly, I think, want to keep a degree of control over that. Don't find yourself in a position with what the one property where we were concerned about type of clinic might come in. Things can be changed. And I guess the question, you balance how much control do you want to keep over it versus perhaps, as Danny mentioned, slowing down the process of moving it.
Right. And what is council's thoughts and opinions about keeping or selling the property? But, get a realtor to look at it. What is council's thought on reselling the property and putting the money back into the fund for the city?
I guess I'll be the first one to talk. My personal opinion is I'd like to see it sold as a unit, the trailer parks and the house, and to go commercial. I haven't studied the particular zoning ordinances, but I would think that we could make a commercial ordinance restricted to the degree that we want it to be, and then put the property for sale that way. Because I don't know what you think, but I think commercial is probably the way to go there, whether it's a nice restaurant or,
But if we,
something else.
if we zone it residential, we can change it to commercial when they come in and let us know what they want to put on the property.
it just takes time, yeah.
Right, it just takes time, but if we do it commercial, we could get a truck stop, a Family Dollar. You can't just put conditions on it, no truck stops, no, you know, can you?
You
Actually,
can't
you can.
discriminate, you know.
I mean-
We could say
We
we
can
want.
put it as restrictive as we want to, it could be a special commercial zone.
Commercial property is more than is worth more than residential property, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, and we actually, do we even have to change the zoning? Because if we change it to residential, just to be changing it, then, and somebody wants to buy it, then you'd have to change it again. So I talked to Becky and Jamie both. Jamie had a different opinion, her opinion, and I did get that same thing from Becky, and there's pros and cons. According to Jamie Baker, the developers want, what do they call that?
Commercial.
Shovel-ready. They want shovel-ready property in order, so they can just move in and don't have to go through all that, what the apartment people have to deal with. So that was her thought about that. Of course, she's economic development, so she would be thinking that way. So there's that, but I don't see any reason to just change it, just to be changing it.
Other
Because
than
we
the
don't have
trailer
to-
park, the way it's listed now, it's residential trailer park. That's the thing that I'm concerned about.
Right, unless we're gonna sell it. So, but we haven't decided if we're gonna sell it or not, or what, so, if, I guess that's my thought,
Yeah,
is.
we're
decide
okay if
first
we
and then-
have it, if it
Yeah.
still belongs to the city. We know that we probably don't want this trailer park there, but
Right.
if you guys decide and vote to sell, then you would want to get that changed, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that's the decision is, do we wanna keep it or do we wanna sell it? And then we make a decision of how we wanna.
Has it been appraised yet? Commercial residential, has it been appraised?
Mike Melton gave just a cheap quote, and he advised it was $450,000 with or without the house. So if we just sold it as is without us having to put any more money into the house or have it inspected for asbestos and it come up and we'd have to pay $10,000 more for asbestos removal, it might be best just to sell it as is with the house and land.
And then if you get that property that, what's his name, owns right there,
The Stanley property.
well, no, that's another one, but also the guy who owns the property out by the Bug, is that his name?
But Walters.
Oh, Buck Walters.
So if somebody came in and wanted, like all of that whole thing there,
Well, that brings
That could-
another thing to the table also. I had a lady visit me the other day at the flower shop, and her maiden name is Beagley, Lori Richardson. And she came in and she said, I guess they own, the Beagle brothers own a connecting piece to that property to ours, the city's.
yeah,
So,
Buck Walters wants that property.
yeah.
But I want to let you guys know that he wouldn't tell me what for, but then after we had talked about it, he had talked about a truck stop that should have went in down in Sadie, or in Williamstown, so just be aware.
What are the adjacent properties zoned at, like the one you're talking about?
the Beagle.
Yeah, what are they adjacent?
Oh,
See if you can see that better than I can.
I don't know. She just said that she had heard, she was wondering, she hadn't heard, but she was wondering if we had a buyer for
That's my way
that
of
property that the city had purchased. And I told her, not to the best of my knowledge, and I said, you need to go up to the city building and speak to the mayor. And, but anyway, that being said, so there is interest out there, you know.
Oh, yeah.
People, and especially the adjoining properties, they're very interested in letting us go with it. So that's even more, and I have no idea how much it is or how many acres we should ever see.
It looks like 2/3 of the surrounding property is highway commercial already.
But either way we go, either residential or commercial, the traffic light at the corner where the Crittenden sign is, we gotta update this thing one way or the other. We can't take 10 more cars in the morning trying to get through here.
Either
turn arrow or turn lane.
Well, that was actually talked about 2 or 3 times, am I correct? In the past 5 years. And, I mean, that,
I mean, Jerry Keith came down and did studies on it.
and nothing was ever done. We need a turn lane,
What
there's
does it
bad.
take to progress something from 5 years ago?
Savannah just posted something on that a week or two ago.
When she was here, not the
No,
last time, but the
I
time
believe
before, she mentioned something about,
I'm saying a week or two ago, she
I think that was-
just
I
posted
think
it
that was,
around.
yeah, that was up here.
Yeah.
But
But this is something she talked about.
she did mention it, she did.
Todd wasn't here when we first got sworn in, and Danny was really talking with District 6, and Nancy Wood and I had spoke, and she said, they did a study, and it's evident that something needs to be done, but we're not top priority. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, what can we do besides talk about getting Savannah and different people to pull with District 6 to get something more serious, to be done? But she said it definitely needs to be, infrastructure there differently, but we're not on the top of the list to get that taken care of.
I've said something to them about making a turn lane going north, a turn arrow going north in 10 seconds. You got 10 seconds to turn left if you're going north before the southbound traffic goes. That would alleviate a whole bunch of stuff, and that's probably the cheapest temporary fix. I don't know, I keep saying, why don't they do it? They go, that's a really good idea. And it's still a good idea, it's not been
Maybe we
done.
need to bring it back.
It's
up
just
to
a matter of
Savannah.
changing the traffic signal.
All we need to do is traffic
They
signal
did a
in 10
delay
seconds.
on it, I know they did do a delay on it, I think that was as far as it got, right?
I just kind of think we ought, as far as deciding what to do, I think we ought to kind of wait until we have a reasonable expectation of what might happen there. See what the interest is, and, I don't know if any of us wants a truck stop.
I think we should just go ahead and put it on the market. Let's get some feelers out and see what happens. We can speculate all we want. Let's find out who wants to open the wall.
I was just talking with Alex on that, we may have to go in executive session to talk about the price on that, and get a vote maybe when we come back.
You can always go down on price, it's really hard to go up once you put a price on it, just like.
Change the zone, or even leave it trailer park.
Well,
That's right. I don't think we ought to act too quickly and then regret later. I think we ought to take some time to see what, I don't know how can we do that?
Has it been cleaned
We don't
up
want to
yet?
discriminate.
Has it been cleaned up yet, so anybody that wants to buy can walk through the house? Has anything been taken out of the house yet? Well, I think we ought to do that, like I said, I mean, it's not smelling any better if you get it out, people can look at it. Nobody wants to come in and look at a clunky house with a bunch of trash that needs to be thrown away to make them know that they're going to have to pay for getting it out. Let them look and see what it looks like, that's going to add the price. You go to buy a car, you're going to buy a dirty car, it's got mud all over it, and trash on the inside, they clean it up and make it look presentable.
But do we want to list it as for sale, commercial, or how would we list this? You gotta think of it that way, and.
Right.
and-
Couldn't we list it pending zone change?
I don't know, there's a fine line between discrimination, I mean,
Well, I did,
Still needs to be cleaned up.
I did take a look at the zoning ordinance before, and I don't have it in front of me, I apologize, left the office, but if I recall, I think this is accurate, if we pull the book out, you'll see that even though it was a trailer park, it was grandfathered in. The new zoning ordinance actually has restrictions on trailer parks for size, space, so it doesn't meet that criteria. So believe it or not, it's zoned as a trailer park, but it actually can't be. After a period of time, it loses its grandfather status. So once the grandfather status is gone, you effectively got a piece of property you can't do anything with because there's no zone for it. Because you actually had a zone for trailer parks. But it requires certain density, enough land, curbs, all kinds of things, and it doesn't meet that criteria. So not too worried about somebody trying to come in. I just need to look at, I don't remember offhand if it's if it's 1 year according to your code, or 6 months when it loses its non-conforming use, because it's non-conforming. I mean, non-conforming means it does not meet the criteria of the zoning code. So I can check on that and report back at the next meeting, but I'm almost certain that you guys are safe. So even if you did sell it, somebody couldn't put a trailer parking without a zone change, so.
And then I wonder if during that time, if we're kind of checking on different things, if somebody will come forward and say, hey, I want to buy this and I want to do this with it, and that sounds great to us.
The larger question is that, so Len Rocamp reached out to me, and I don't know why, but he was the attorney that represented the lady who was trying to get the apartments in. He called me and said, Alex, you don't have his position, you don't have an R5, or you don't have a high-density zone. And we believe that you have to afford it, and I disagree with him. I think that certain cities you can conduct a study that says we can't handle an R5, right? We can't handle a density of 1,000 units or 500. We don't have the ability from a operation standpoint to actually handle it. But his logic is you've got to provide for this. So it's worth, things that we've talked about with some council members in the past. I mean, it's an overall inclusive zone update. I'd be real curious to see when the last time anybody set eyes on it. Because the Crittenden, of course, in the last